Yo, what's good? It's your boy Bike with another video. Today we are going to be reviewing the Noris Digital Jumbo pen. Now before we do that, we're gonna break down the specs of this stylus, and then we're gonna test it out, line accuracy, pressure sensitivity, and stuff like that. And then we are going to talk about my experience drawing with this stylus. Let's get into it. So the Noris Digital Jumbo stylus right now, as the time of this recording, is priced at $43.44. When you look at the size of this stylus, it's coming in at 5.5 inches. Now if we compare that to the S Pen, the S Pen is just a little bit taller than the Noris Digital Jumbo. The nib size is 0.7 millimeters, and in fact it is the same nib as the regular Noris Digital. It weighs 10 grams, and when you look at the build of it, it is made of wood-like material. I don't want to say wood, but it is made of wood-like material, and the design or shape of it is a triangle shape. They're calling it a ergonomic triangle. This pen also comes with a eraser made of rubber-like material, and also when you look at the overall build, it doesn't have a button on there, and I'm glad of that. I'm not a fan of the buttons on the pen, and also it would probably mess up the whole aesthetic of it actually looking like a pencil. So now I'm gonna test the line accuracy by making horizontal lines, making sure there are straight lines, they're not wiggly, they're not squiggly, and as you can see, it passes the line accuracy, line tracking test. Now as far as the pressure sensitivity, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be putting a lot of pressure on this pen, and then I'm going to be easing up. A lot of pressure, then easing up. And what I'm looking for is the ease of, you know, how much pressure that I'm putting on the pen, how weighted the line is, and if I don't put a lot of pressure on the pen, is it gonna recognize my pen strokes and things like that. And as you can see, it takes pressure very well. It was very easy to transition from lower pressure to high pressure. So the pressure sensitivity test, it passes. This pen does have palm rejection, so we're gonna test that out. And during my test, I didn't have any type of misplaced lines. And basically palm rejection is as soon as the tablet recognizes that there is a pen and a cursor should appear on the screen, then the palm or any other marks should not affect the screen. And that's basically what palm rejection is. Now we're gonna look at tilt sensitivity, and just in doing this, it recognizes tilt very well. I'm not too sure of the angle. I had the angle it was a pretty low angle, maybe a 45-degree angle or something like that for those people who do use tilt. I think it's a pretty neat function for a stylus to have, but it does have a tilt function on it. And now we're going to look at the eraser. I think it's one of the key features of this stylus that I actually love, because aesthetically, it works aesthetically when you look at it, right? It looks like a pencil is red. Pencil has a pink, but this one is red. But when you start to erase on your screen, it feels like a real eraser because of the rubber materials that the eraser is made of. It gives just that right resistance to feel like a real pencil and paper. So I think this is very well designed. It's a good design, and also in practice it's good also, because I kind of got nostalgia actually erasing with this pen, because it felt so close to traditional pen and paper, or pencil and paper in this case. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna test the latency response, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slow the actual video down, because you can't really tell at full motion, which is a good sign, right? Which is a very good sign that you can't, I have to actually slow the video all the way down, but all pens have some sort of latency involved, and all of that is basically when you make a mark on the tablet and you continuously make a mark and you move around at a fairly good speed, how far behind is the actual mark lagging. And so I found that I tested this out with the S Pen, with the Wacom One pen, the regular Noris Digital pen, the Lime, like all of these pens have some sort of latency, but it is not that. It's I think it's 2.3, 2.8. It's something very, very low, and so it's very manageable, and you wouldn't even notice it if you're not drawing at a kind of like a high paced speed. If you're just drawing regularly, you're not even gonna really notice the latency. So now let's get into the drawing experience. I was drawing with this while I was on live a few days ago, and when drawing with this, the nib is exactly the same nib as the regular Noris Digital, but because the shape of this pen, because the shorter size of this pen, it has a different feel to it. As far as the smoothness, as far as the grip to it, it still feels the same as the regular pen, the regular Noris Digital pen. But as far as line drawing, I found that when trying to draw line art, and specifically long tail line art, like a long, like I'm drawing the arm portion, which is, you know, it's very long. It seems like I had less control over my pen strokes versus the regular Noris Digital versus the S Pen. And so I just think that this Noris Digital, I won't use this for line art. Like I'll use the regular Noris Digital specifically for line art, because I just have more control over my line art with the regular Noris Digital pen. And I don't think that is necessarily a knock on this stylus, simply because I wouldn't use the regular Noris Digital to actually just sketch and draw. I would use something like the Wacom One pen or the S Pen to actually do that. So that's not really a knock on it, on the actual pen. I think different pens have a different use case based off of your particular scenario. And one more thing about the build of this pen, although it does have a ergonomic triangular build to it that it fits very well, you know, inside of your hands. The hardness of that wood, because I like to have a firm grip on my pen as I'm actually drawing. I'm probably gonna need some type of grip just to soften up the feel of this actual stylus. And I think I've gotten used to digital styluses, because, you know, I used to draw with wood pencils, Prismacolors, like all the time, every day. So I think it's just a case of me just really getting used to drawing with a digital stylus, which oftentimes has a soft, like rubbery feel to it. And the control thing, it could be because of the size of my hands. It could be, you know, any amount of things. It could be just me, because I've seen a lot of reviews, and, you know, I haven't actually heard artists say that, you know, they kind of lost some type of control, or it's harder to do certain things with this pen. So it could be just me. But all in all, I have really nothing really negative to say about this pen. It's a great digital stylus. And the one thing is that when Wacom like co-signs your brand, like you're a top tier brand, Wacom don't co-sign everybody, you know what I'm saying? So you know, shout out to Staedtler and the Noris Digital regular and the Noris Digital Jumbo. Excellent pens if you want a alternative to the Samsung S Pen. Check out this video right here next on some of the best styluses that you can use for your Samsung tablet.